Hello, my name is Salam Albana. I'm a sophomore at SUNY New Paltz. I am interning with Erica Wagner for the Alternative Spring Break, which is working on this project.
And hi, I'm Annabelle Esposito. I'm a freshman at SUNY New Paltz, and I'm an Alternative Spring Break team member.
I'm Charlotte Knapp. I'm the office manager and also a board member of the Rondout Valley Food Pantry.
I am Jim Tinger. I am the program director for the town of New Paltz.
I am Raquel Ruiz. I'm an alternative spring break mentor. My pronouns are she, her, hers.
My name is Allison Cox. My pronouns are she, hers, and I'm an alternative spring break participant.
And my name is Troy Ellen Dixon. My pronouns are she, her. I am the marketing and program director at the A.J. Williams Myers African Roots Center in the Pankaki neighborhood of Kingston, New York.
My organization is Catholic Charities. We are located in Ulster County, although I'm a part of the Tri-County Catholic Charities Division.
My name is Sarah Salem. I use they, them pronouns. I work with Dutchess Outreach. My title is Director of Development, and we are a food access organization that exists in Dutchess County and has existed in Dutchess County for more than 47 years.
My name is Erin Musto. I'm a volunteer recruiter with the American Red Cross, and my pronouns are she, her, hers. The Red Cross, the American Red Cross of Eastern New York, covers 27 counties throughout Eastern New York, into the Hudson Valley, and all the way up to the Canadian border. And something that is not a known fact is that the Red Cross is 90% volunteer workforce, so there are very few paid staff members.
We're a self-pick pantry, which means that our guests get to pick what groceries they get from us. Before Corona, it used to be that our guests would come in. They could come every 3 weeks to get 3 days worth of groceries. As soon as the shutdown happened, we went to a zero contact delivery basis only. Guests would call in and place their orders over the phone with myself. We would pack their bags and then deliver the following day to them. We were very anti-stigma here at the Rondout Valley Food Pantry. No one should be afraid to ask for help, and that's the biggest thing that our organization strives for. Is we want to break that stigma that asking for help is wrong. I know all of our guests very personally. I talk to each and every one of them on the phone every week.
We work with middle school and high school students. This year, since the pandemic, what we've really offered is this program called RAD, which is Recreation and Academic Development. So we're here at 7:30 every morning now, and kids come here, they sign up ahead of time because we have capacity restrictions because of COVID, and we get them online with their teachers and make sure that we go over their assignments and what to do, and we make sure they leave here with all their assignments done for the day. And meanwhile, kind of interspersing recreation stuff whenever we get a chance. Last January and February, we were the busiest we had been. We had so many programs happening. One of our issues always is to fight isolation, is to get kids out of their homes, out of their basements, and out. And the pandemic, of course, didn't help that.
We're not an entity. We are a collaborative, so we don't have a physical address. We have a variety of people and organizations that work with us. We started in response to the closure of the Kingston public schools in March 2020, because we knew that without access to the schools, there were many students who would not have access to the food.
We have a great kids pantry where we give out diapers and formula and things like that. We have a great client choice pantry that's set up like a supermarket. It gives people dignity so they can come in, they get a shopping cart, and with a volunteer, they can go in the pantry and shop, so to speak.
Through the lunchbox, we were actually in service on that day, and we had to figure out a way to continue to provide hot meals to people, but not have more than, I think at that time it was 20 people at a time in an enclosed space. We ended up transitioning all of our programs to more of a to-go model. And so we moved our entire food pantry down to the ground floor of the building where we're located and set up tables to store all of our food in a longer, more open hallway so that our volunteers could maintain a safe distance from each other. And then we packed our grocery packages and then we brought them outside to folks.
It felt like a big roller coaster of emotion and trying to figure out how to do the work that everybody does from home or virtually or safely. Blood is still a huge need. In disaster cycle services, we still responded to disasters. They didn't stop.
We also created a state of emergency program where we made emergency bags of non-perishable goods, and they were left at different firehouses in our area that people could access 24/7, so that if anyone needed food and they were scared or because of the stigma of getting food from a food pantry, they could just go and anonymously pick them up. As of this morning, we've handed out over 11,000 of those emergency bags. We are part of the Northeastern New York Regional Food Bank. Our orders used to be around 1,000 to 1,500 pounds. And I think my largest order was 12,000 pounds at the height of COVID, like April, May of last year.
KEFC is primarily a volunteer-run organization. We've had over 500 unique volunteers. This equals more than 17,000 volunteer hours through February 28th. And also, when we think of the unpaid value of that work, it's over $473,000 of volunteer time.
We also have a collaboration with, it's called Project Resilience with the Ulster County government, where people can email me and that are in need, and we will provide groceries for them while they're homebound.
We really did have to change a lot of what we do. However, it did kind of show us the value and the benefit of using this moment as an opportunity to pivot and transform the organization in order to provide a more equitable path to food access. What we're trying to figure out is, how do we move away from that emergency feeding model? Understanding that, it's not really an emergency at this point. It's, a widening gap of income inequality. It's that folks aren't receiving support. It's that folks have been historically marginalized and kind of held back from achieving opportunities and aren't able to, find viable employment so that they can feed themselves and their families, and let alone, pay for rent or healthcare bills or whatever else comes up.
With myself, we had to switch to all virtual platforms. And so a lot of the recruitment that I had been doing in meetings and presentations that I had set up were with groups that might not be technologically able to do that or interested or comfortable going out in the community at this time. But there's been some great benefits in that. There's increased attendance in our chapter meetings, be able to virtually present to our organization. We have had some fascinating diversity inclusion trainings and speakers present about the diverse cultures in our region. A lot of those presentations wouldn't have been able to happen in the world that we lived in.
We also have a school backpack program. The way it used to work was that families would sign up through the school nurse to get their kids' weekend backpacks. We've almost hit 250,000 meals within all of those bags. We just hit, it was 200 years worth of food we've given out as of this morning. If you do 3 meals a day for one person, it equals 200 years is how much we've given out. And that's in the 367 days since we first started distributing after they shut down the schools.
The Hodge Center follows the KCSD calendar. So during the winter recess, for example, they were closed, but we still needed to feed people. So members of our team reached out to individual restaurants. Nobody said no. Everybody said yes. The Anchor in Kingston, I don't know if you're familiar with that, but they provided nearly 170 meals for Thanksgiving Day and the day after Thanksgiving. The way the Anchor was able to do that is because they were preparing Thanksgiving dinners that people, could take out. And they said, just pre-order. And with your order, if you want, add an extra $10 to, underwrite a meal for somebody in the community. I think they got over 250 meals underwritten. and the additional meals went into the community fridges?
So currently, for the first time last year, we got a donation to start a community garden, which we're really proud of. Whatever we yield, we put back into the food pantry. And this year, our focus is on doing a salad garden, and we'll do workshops to coincide to show people this is how you can do a planter garden at home. We also are partnering with Mutual Aid of Kingston, where we would provide items to people who are either not mobile or not able to come out.
Through the pandemic, we worked really closely with city government to get out more deliveries of our packages and meals because, a ton of folks were homebound. So we worked with other local nonprofit organizations like Community Action, Catholic Charities, Hudson River Housing, and others. And we have a ton of farming partners that help us provide locally grown and fresh foods in all of our programs so that we're able to prepare local foods in the lunchbox. We're able to pack local produce in our grocery packages, and we actually sell produce that is locally grown on our fresh market.
The mission of the Red Cross is to prevent and alleviate human suffering in the face of emergencies by mobilizing the power of volunteers and the generosity of donors. We support veterans and active duty military in our service to armed forces. And after COVID hit and we had to make some adaptations, so we found some new partnerships out in the community that could support in different ways. We formed a great partnership in the Hudson Valley with the New York COVID-19 Mass Avengers. Our blood services line of service, we have partnered with many new businesses to be able to offer that safe space to still deliver blood. The world changed, but we pivoted. A good word for the Red Cross and the way that we do our work is very nimble. Our volunteers and our workforce know how important and impactful it is to do this work. So everybody, as hard as it was, we were all on board together to do the best work that we could and still be able to deliver blood to those who need it and to deliver those services to those that are impacted by disasters and need it most in those moments.
A lot of businesses too, like a lot of people give us food. Village Pizza gives us their leftovers. The Bagel Cafe uptown always has bagels for us. People are always donating things. We're always asking things. One of the advantages of me being here for so long is that it has been, we build up all these relationships. Obviously, we're funded by the town, but we're located in the village. So that's 3 different organizations. And the college is huge because right now this semester we have, I believe it's 13 interns from the sociology and psychology departments. So we also have interns from the grad school mental health counseling department. And then we have work study. So anybody who gets work study on campus, we're a site where they can do their work study. It's funny because it's hard to tell what we're going to be doing next. I don't know what's happening this summer yet because I know we're going to be open and I know we'll probably be open as just a drop-in, but the RAD program that I mentioned, the morning thing where they're on with their teachers, that's obviously going to be done. And in the fall, ideally, we don't have that program because they're going to be back in school and maybe we will be too. I think there's going to be a big shift in, are we able to tutor in the classrooms again? Are we able to be with teachers in the classrooms in the fall?
When it comes to volunteers, we've actually just had an abundance of people. We haven't had to do that much outreach for volunteers to be here. We have a really lovely community. They say it takes a village, and we have a good village here that was willing to come and help and make sure their neighbors were fed. So we got a huge abundance of teachers at the beginning when we lost the majority of our senior volunteers. We utilize social media a lot. We utilize our Facebook as much as we humanly can. When we needed drivers for Thanksgiving and Christmas to hand out those baskets, because they were all delivery only still, we made sure we posted on social media and people just started coming in, calling in, commenting on the Facebook post that they were willing to help.
Well, we continue to focus on meeting the immediate need because food insecurity isn't going to go away overnight. But we're also working to eliminate all the factors that contribute to food insecurity. And as I said, we want to develop plans and policies to achieve food sovereignty for all. Working collaboratively with different, as I said, organizers, organizations, businesses, individuals, etc., has allowed us to sustain this initiative and continue.
If you're a volunteer, a lot of what we need and other food access organizations need are drivers. We need people who are willing to drive food to others that can't leave their homes or to meet people where they're at. So I would just say to volunteers, just be open to exploring different kinds of ways of contributing to communities. And then, a lot of, the help that we received was through people who were able to volunteer a donation to our organization so that we can continue to do the work.
I love for people to come visit when Pantry is rolling so they can actually see the work in progress. It's nothing like me saying to you, oh, Brooklyn, come visit the Pantry, and when you come, it's dead silent. Versus when you come and there's 50 people getting food and diapers and formula, those kinds of things, and you can be a part of that, it makes a mark on you. And you can't forget what you experienced, so that when you do come into contact with someone, you'll think, oh, you know what? Catholic Charities has a great food pantry. I'm blessed. I have a great group of volunteers who are just amazing, and I can never give enough shout outs to them, and a big thank you to them for always showing up, right? My staff and my volunteers understand why Catholic Charities is here providing the services that we provide. And we're really proud of that. And I think that's what keeps them coming back day in and day out.
So many have a Red Cross story, whether it's that they've been impacted or a friend or a family member. And even though there are great challenges, we all know that disasters don't stop and blood is needed. Veterans and active duty military members do need those resources and support. You can make a very big impact in your community. It feels good knowing that your time and energy and your spirit are involved in a mission that supports your community.
Stay nimble, because the unexpected is expected to happen, and it will. We move at the speed of trust, we say, and we're coming from a place of abundance.